Good morning, everyone. I'm Hoda Kotb, President and CEO of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, which is presenting this program. Welcome to today's virtual Walk of Fame ceremony. Before we start, we would like to give special thanks to our media partner, Variety, for co-producing this ceremony with us. We're so excited to be here with you today to present this program. And though we miss seeing everyone's faces on Hollywood Boulevard, we're happy to be able to connect with you. Today, we are honoring America's sweetheart, a woman who has transformed daytime TV. Today, Hollywood honors Kathie Lee Gifford with a 2,695th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, let's take a look back at her incredible career.
There's never been a time in my life when I didn't think of myself as an entertainer, as a performer. I came out of the womb with a pratfall and a rim shot, and just never want to do anything else at all. I've been really incredibly blessed. My daddy said to me very, very early on, and I've quoted him so many times, honey, find something you love to do and then figure out a way to get paid for it. It started when we started booking gigs and getting paid in Washington, D.C. at a place called the Cellar Door and different places like that. We were doing folk music. I loved Joan Baez and Judy Collins and Peter, Paul and Mary and James Taylor and all those people. I just felt at home. It never was a struggle for me. I couldn't wait to do it. It was a show called Name That Tune. And that would be considered my big break. It was the first time then people knew my name. There were magazine covers. There were, people wouldn't recognize me. I was in New York, and I was called to do another morning television show called Good Morning America.
How can women begin that process then? I mean, it's a frightening thing.
I never considered myself a journalist at all, so I was looking for a change. And I had watched Regis out in Los Angeles for years, and I was always a fan of his, but I'd never met him. All of a sudden, his co-host job opens up, and I remember calling my agent and saying, I want to try out for that. And everybody says, you're crazy, you're crazy. What? To join a local show? We became this phenomenon.
Now, you know that sometimes when you park your car in a parking lot and the sun beats down through the windshield, how
it burns your buns when you get back in.
Exactly.
No two people had ever talked about their lives on daytime television for 23 minutes without a commercial break, with no writers. We had no writers. We were blazing a brand new trail.
Coming next, it's live with Regis and Kathie Lee.
I had my babies on the air. I was talking about the changes in my body, everything. And we had fun.
Yes! You can be a Spice Girl. I am a Spice Girl.
Everybody used to say, what's the secret to your success? It's the same as it is with Hoda. It's a three-letter word called fun.
Hey! Booze Day Tuesday.
It is time for the new addition to the Today Show, Miss Kathie Lee Gifford.
I just fell in love with my Egyptian princess, my goddess.
Cheers to you, Hoda woman.
We're just bonded. You go through, 11 years now of what we've been through, and I've lost my husband, I've lost my mother. She's become a mother. We've been through a lot of things together, and we did friendship away from any cameras, and we did life together. Thank you so much.
The minute you stepped into my life with both feet, like everything changed.
People say, oh, you're always reinventing yourself. And I said, no, I don't reinvent myself. I'm evolving, I'm growing. And on the day I die, I hope I've grown at something, learned something new. That's the thrill of life. For me, it's all forward, all forward. Blessed is the person that loves what they do so much that they'll never have to work. Because that's the way I feel. So blessed.
Kathie, what an amazing career you've had, and it's so wonderful to hear you tell your story. Our Walk of Fame criteria also includes philanthropic work. Kathie Lee lends support to numerous children's organizations, including Child Hope, the International Justice Mission, and the Association to Benefit Children, which spawned Cassidy's Place and Cody House, named after her two children. She received an honorary degree from Marymount University for her humanitarian work in labor relations. She has also received 11 Emmy nominations, and was inducted into the Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame. Thank you again, Kathie, for all that you do, and congratulations on your many accomplishments. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce administers the Walk of Fame on behalf of the City of Los Angeles. I'd love to turn it over to our Los Angeles City Council member, Mitch O'Farrell, to present you with a beautiful resolution on behalf of our city.
Hello, I'm Los Angeles City Council member Mitch O'Farrell. I represent the 13th District and the historic Walk of Fame. I am proud to join this celebration from City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. I'd like to thank the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce for administering the Walk of Fame on behalf of the City of Los Angeles and for putting on today's virtual ceremony. I am truly honored to recognize someone that has been part of our lives for many years, Kathie Lee Gifford. Every morning we invited you into our homes, and in return you invited us into your life with stories that we could all relate to. Your ease on the small screen was equal to your love of music, recording many albums and performing in musical theater. But it is your activism that really shined bright. I want to thank you for all your charitable work focused on children. That is why you belong here among the stars on this famous boulevard. So, on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, I want to congratulate you, Kathie Lee Gifford, for an amazing career and welcome you to the Walk of Fame.
Thank you, Council Member. Before we hear from Kathie today, we have 3 guest speakers who would like to say a few words about our honoree. Our first speaker needs no introduction. She's an award-winning singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, and more. Please help me welcome an American icon and Walk of Famer, Dolly Parton.
Hey, Kathie Lee, it's Dolly here, your old girlfriend. Lord, we've been together so long, neither one of us even remember how to count that far, right? We're that old. But anyway, I know how excited I was when I got my star in the Walkway of the Stars, and it's long overdue for you. Can't believe you're just now getting that. Wish I could be there in person, but I am definitely there in spirit. So you go, girl, you shine, you star.
Thank you, Dolly. Next up, we have an Emmy Award-winning actor, writer, and comedian with a diverse career that encompasses film, television, and the stage. Please welcome Craig Ferguson.
Hello, Kathie Lee Gifford and all the dignitaries of the ceremony today. I'm here in Scotland. There's the flag. And as you can tell, in Scotland, summer is almost upon us. Here is the ancient pond at my house that was put in honor of Kathie Lee's visit. Let's get very summery here. Of Kathie Lee's visit in the summer of 2018, when we worked on a film together, which she wrote and was in and produced. I'm not saying she is a megalomaniac, because I won't say that because I'm frightened of her. But let me tell you about the type of person she is. When I first met Kathie Lee, I was 8th banana on a sitcom at the time called The Drew Carey Show. Starred a gentleman from Cleveland called Drew Carey, who remains my friend, but it's not about him. Kathie Lee was a guest on that show. It was a popular show. And at the craft service table one day, there was one bagel left. And I greedily approached that bagel. Spike, get out of my video, please. Spike is a dog who lives in Scotland. I approached the table to take the bagel, and Kathie Lee stepped back and allowed me to take it. She didn't know that I was hungry and needed a bagel. She just let me have it. Also, I think there was wine nearby, and she preferred that. Anyway, the upshot was I met her on that show, and she didn't know who I was, but I said to her, which was true at the time, my son was just a little kid, and I was reading him her book, and she signed a copy and gave me I didn't want to tell her I already had a copy, so I had 2 copies of her book, one I paid for and one I got for free. Anyway, the point is, she was lovely to me, And I was just an actor on a show. There's no reason for her to be nice to me. It wasn't going to do her any good. As it turned out, she got me to work in her movie years later for next to nothing. But the point is this. She has always been a classy... Hold on. Sorry, I was running out of power on my phone there. She has always been a classy, honest, decent, hilarious, wonderful, talented friend. And I could not be more delighted that she's getting her star today. Well deserved. Congratulations, Kathie Lee Gifford, and all who sail in her.
Thank you, Craig. And finally, our last speaker is one of Kathie's best friends and colleagues. She's a co-anchor of NBC News' Today and co-host of Today with Hoda and Jenna. Please welcome Emmy-winning television personality and author, Hoda Kotb.
Y'all picked well. Kathie Lee Gifford is so deserving of this star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She is in a class all by herself. Kathie Lee is an original. I know because I got to sit next to her for 11 years. And I think the funny thing about Kath is we all knew her. I got to know her intimately, but everybody knew her. And it's because she lived her life in front of us. We saw her meet her handsome husband in front of us on the air. We saw her talk about her children and raise them in front of us. We watched as she went through difficult times in her life in front of us. We watched as she said goodbye to her dear dad and her mom in front of us. And we watched her say goodbye to her husband in front of us. It all happened in front of us. She shared her life with all of us. And I think that's why Kath touched so many people and still does to this day. She is in a class all by herself. And here's what makes Kathie Lee different from everybody else. She does everything on her terms. Her joy is non-negotiable. She does everything on her terms. She speaks her heart and her truth. She lives her faith. Nobody, and I mean nobody, tells Kathie Lee what to do, and that's why she's so wildly successful, because she's an American original. And now, for the rest of eternity, Kathie Lee will live in that star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And when someone walks by, they're going to tell a story about Kath. Oh, my God, I met Kathie Lee on the street. Oh, my God, I went to Kathie Lee's Broadway show. There's Kathie Lee's star. It'll be right there. There's Regis's. They're going to talk about her forever. Our kids will talk about her. My kids will, and our kids' kids. So, Kath, I just want to say no one is more deserving of this star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame than you. You changed so many people's lives. But in particular, you changed mine, and I love you for it.
Thank you, Hoda. Kathie, your star will live permanently at 6834 Hollywood Boulevard, just 5 stars away from your Live with Regis and Kathie Lee co-host and good friend, Regis Philbin. Now, because we couldn't be on the boulevard today, we wanted to do something special. Let's take a look at the making of your star. On behalf of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, we now declare today Kathie Lee Gifford Day in Hollywood. It's now time to hear from our honoree. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you our newest Walk of Famer, Kathie Lee Gifford.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today as I receive this incredible award from the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. I don't see you, but I sense you with me because you've been with me all these decades in this incredible industry, and you have rewarded me in so many ways with your faith in me, your prayers for me, your love for me. I look back on it in awe and wonder that God blessed me so much to be able to make my living doing what I love to do, which is what my daddy taught me. But more than that, that you all stayed with me through everything. Every trial, every tribulation, every joyful moment as well. You were there. You watched me sing on that tune, my first la-las. You laughed at my corny jokes on Hee Haw Honeys. You moved with me to New York, where I worked on Good Morning America, met Frank, married him, met a guy named Regis, and did 15 years of live with Regis and Kathie Lee. Amazing years. You were there when I left television for a while to do Broadway and make movies and put out records. And God love you. You bought them. You came. You showed up. And I've always had this sense of incredible wonderment that, boy, they're amazing. They show up for me. So I want to thank you, all of you, for this amazing award. It means a lot to me. It really does. I kind of given up on ever getting it, I gotta be honest, but here it is. And now people can walk all over me anytime they want. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I didn't see all of you through those years, but I sensed you, and I knew so many of you were actually praying for me too. I'll never forget you, and I'll continue to thank you till the day I die. And by the way, if Betty White's watching, I'd like to have all the opportunities that you say no to in my closing years in this business. Much love to all of you, and also to Hoda Woman, who's watching as well, and to Craig and to Dolly, who sent their tributes. So grateful. And on that bell, God bless you all.
We are so proud to welcome Kathie Lee Gifford to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Thank you all for attending today's ceremony. We look forward to seeing you again soon.